Algebra Word Problems number 11b, write or decipher equations for multi-step problems. A multi-step problem will contain more than one operation. So there's two rules that we need to remember. PEMDAS is going out the window, okay? Normally in order of operations, it tells you to do addition and subtraction last, but now we're going to do it first, okay? So if a number is added to the variable, we're going to subtract it from each side. And if a number is subtracted, then we're going to add it to each side. We're going to do the inverse. And if there's a multiplication or division part to the equation, we're going to do that last. If there's a variable that's multiplied by the number, we're going to divide each side of the equation by that number. And if the variable is divided by a number, then we're going to multiply each side by that number, okay? So we just need to remember that any inverse operation done on one side of the equation must be the exact same operation on the other side. We need to keep and maintain our balance, okay? So if we have a problem that says 5 times a number, n, minus 7 is equal to 3 times the same number plus 19, whew, boy, does that sound confusing, doesn't it? Okay, we need to write an equation, so we need to take this apart slowly, all right? So here's how we're going to do it, just a few words at a time, and this is what you can do, all right? So I'm going to think, 5 times a number, n. Well, that's easy. That's 5n. 7 minus 7, so now we have 5 times a number minus 7. Now we have 5n minus 7 is equal to, all right, we slap an equal sign onto the back of it there, to 3 times the same number. Now it said the number was n, so we know it's 3n. Okay? Now we have 5n minus 7 equals 3n. It says plus 19. That's easy. Now we have 5n minus 7 equals 3n plus 19. Now we just need to solve it by doing inverse operations. So remember, we're trying to get the variable alone, all right? And the variable is the n. So the first thing I see is that we can add 7 to each side to get rid of this as a zero pair, couldn't we? So if we add 7 to the 19, our equation now says 5n equals 3n plus 26. All right, we're still trying to get that variable to one side. So you know what? I'm going to throw this n to this side with this n. So I'm going to subtract 3n from this side, because this is a positive 3n. I'm going to subtract this 3n to make that a zero pair, and then I'll subtract 3n from this side. So now this side becomes 2n, and it equals 26. Now, because 2n is 2 times n, that's a multiplication problem, we're going to use division as our inverse operation. We're going to divide both sides by 2. This 2 divided by 2 becomes a 1. And remember what happens when we have 1 over 1 like this? We don't need to put it in front of the variable, do we? We can see that there's just one n. So we don't put that. It gets discarded. Now we just have n, and 26 divided by 2 is 13. We know n equals 13. Okay? Let's try deciphering another one. 2/3 of a number x plus 1/6 of the same number is equal to 25. Write an equation and solve for x. That sounds confusing too, doesn't it? So let's break it apart piece by piece, and we'll write an equation. 2/3 of a number x. It's easy. 2/3 x, right? Plus 1/6. Okay, well, we'll put plus 1/6 there. Of the same number. So of the same number, it's of x. So now we have 2/3 x plus 1/6 x is equal to 25. We put an equal sign in a 25, and now we have our equation. So now let's solve it. We're trying to get x to one side, okay? So we need to do the addition. Well, you know what I see? I see 2/3 x and 1/6 x on the same side. So I'm just going to add them together. And you remember how we add fractions? We need to get the numerators and we need to get the denominator the same. So a little math on the side, and 2/3. What do I need to get this 3 to become a 6? I need to multiply the 3 by a 2. The numerator gets jealous. He gets multiplied by 2. Now we have 4/6, and we can add it to the 1/6 and get 5/6. So now we have 5/6x equals 25. So what does our little variable n say? When we invert a fraction, we write its reciprocal. 1/3 is 3 over 1. So we need to multiply both sides by the reciprocal. So we have 5/6. We're going to multiply this side by 6/5, and that means we have to multiply this side by 6/5, okay? And then what happens, because we're multiplying both sides by the reciprocal, this ends up canceling out and we discard it because we end up getting 30 over 30, which is 1, so we can get rid of it, right? Because we don't need to know there's 1x there. We know there's 1x there. Then on this side, we have 25 times 6. Well, 4 25s is 100, like $1, like 4 quarters or $1. And 2 more would be another 50 cents, so it'd be like $1.50. So I know it's like 150. And 1 times 5 is 5. So now we get 150 over 5. All we have to do is simplify it, and x equals 30. That wasn't that hard, was it? Kind of flowed right through, didn't it? Well, I'm going to do a couple more examples so that you can really get a look at what I'm doing. And if you feel like you've already got it, go on to video 12, okay? I'll see you next video. Bye.